Okay. Gajananam bhutaganaatisevitam kapita jambu phalasarabakshitam umasutam shoka vinasha karanam namami Vigneshwara pada pankajam. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. As usual, our Guru Parampara Prarthana. Sadashiva Samarambam Sankaracharya Madhyamam Asmat Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So welcome to the concluding session number 12 for Easy Sanskrit online classes for kids. Now this will be the last session in this beginners level 1. And I will go through these slides one by one. This is session 12. And we just completed the prayer to Guru Parampara. And as usual, we will have a quick review of what we did in the last session, number 11. We had a very beautiful sloka on Krishna. I gave it in particular because it covers all the 8 cases. The 8 cases meaning vibhakti, it is masculine gender on Krishna. Now that will be very useful to you to know the 8 vibhaktis on masculine singular noun. We also covered what are causative verbs, verbs which cause something, some action. And I gave you a short description of what are avyaya or indeclinables, those which do not change with gender or with adjectives or with adverbs. We gave you some examples of avyaya, the indeclinables. And we also saw what was a gerund. And we had given some examples of gerund. And we saw the names of animals and birds. We had some illustrations. And I had given you the names of various animals and birds which you will come across in many scriptures. And as usual, we had a nice verse in the concluding prayer. So let's see what is our goal for today, which is session 12. And as every time, we are going to review the answers for the exercises given last time, exercises 15 and 16. And we're going to have a quick review of what we covered so far in 11.1. We had earlier 11 lessons, and I'd like to give you a very quick summary of what we covered so far. And we're going to practice answering 7 simple questions. Some of this you have heard before, but we are going to give you a little bit of practice on that. And we're going to learn more on tenses: present tense, past tense, past participle, and future tense. And we're going to talk about some words, cause and effect words, with some examples. And as before, we're going to enjoy some nice subhashitams or verses. And we're going to conclude level 1 with a prayer. So that is what we want to cover today. And let me tell you that this will be the last lesson for level 1, which is totally a series of 12 lessons. And based on this, we will go to level 2, which would be probably only next year because we won't be able to cover it in a couple of weeks. So let's see the answers for exercises 15 and 16. Chicago Nagaram Shobanam Asti. Very simple. Chicago is Chicago. Nagaram is city. Shobanam is beautiful. We heard this word before. Asti is. So Chicago city is beautiful. Rishabh, you made it correctly. Ronit, you have just said Chicago is a beautiful. You left out the city. So Nagaram means city. But you are right. Partially, you probably forgot to add the word city. Margaha Samaha Bhavanti. And Margaha means roads or paths. Samaha, Sama means level, even. The roads are not like mountain rally, but they are even, without pits. Samaha Bhavanti. Roads are even. Ronit, I think you forgot that question completely. Rishabh is correct. Third one, Uchaha Vrichaha Marganam Pashve Rohanti. Uchaha is tall or loud, Uchair. You remember Simha, Uchaihi Garjanti. Uchaha means tall, Vrichaha means trees, Marganam is roads. Where in the road? Not in the center. Marganam Parshve. Parshve means on the sides. Rohanti, they grow. Plural. Tall trees grow on the sides of the roads. Balaha Yatra Tatra Kridanti. Balaha, children. Yatra Tatra, here and there. Kridanti, play. Children play here and there. Grhanam Mahanti Bhavanti. Grhanam means homes, houses. Mahanti is big. Bhavanti are. You see, the verb in Sanskrit is coming last, but in English it is coming in the center. So that's the beauty of Sanskrit. The verb can come at the end. Grihanam Mahanti Bhavanti means houses are huge, big houses. Like you have Mahadeva, is the biggest of all devas, name given to Shiva, right? So Maha means big or huge. Grihanam Mahanti Bhavanti. Let's see exercise 16, translating English to Sanskrit. Very simple words, but some of them are different tenses. Like he said is past tense. He saha avadat. Avadat is he said. I am happy. Aham sukhi. No, you don't have to really sukhi asmi. Just say aham sukhi itself means I am happy. Like aham brahmasmi. No, there is a ritual we say aham brahmasmi. I am Brahma. I am happy means aham sukhi. How beautiful everything here is. It's an exclamation. So you say aho, not katham or kim. Aho Sundaram Sarva Atra Bhavati. Aho is exclamation. Oh, how beautiful everything here is. Sundaram is beautiful. Sarva Atra Bhavati. How beautiful everything here is. Okay. He saw many birds at a distance. Saha, at a distance is dure. Anekan, many. Anekan. Pachinaha apasyate. Past tense. Pashyati means present tense. Apasyate is past tense. So you say, Saha dure anekan pachinaha apasyate. Happiness is in the heart of man. You can say Manushasya or Narasya. Both are correct. Narasya, Hridaye. Hridaye means in the heart. Sukham or Santushti. Bhavati. Happiness is in the heart of man. Okay. I think you got all of them correct, Rishabh. I think except, let me see, Ronit, Saha, Avadat, not Avadati, Avadat. Aham Anandam Asti. Okay. Katam Sobanam. Not Katam, it is, I said, Aho, because it is an exclamator. Okay. Number 4 is you are just read Saha Vadati. No, that is wrong. 5. Anandata Hridaye Nara Asti. No, Narasya Hridaye Sukham. Happiness is in the heart of a man. So you should say Narasya of man, Hridaye Sukham Santushti Bhavati. Okay. So having said that, let's go further. And this is going to be just a summary so that you know what we covered so far. In fact, we covered a good deal in these 12 lessons, starting with the very first one where I had given an introduction and we talked about what we want to cover, what is going to be the approach. I gave some explanation about the origin of Sanskrit, the features, vowels, and consonants. And in the second lesson, we covered Devanagari fundamentals, classification of vowels, categories of consonants, writing. I think we gave a demo on that screen, consonant formation, sandhi, joining of two words or more words, and basics of some grammar. Third one, we covered the persons, gender, numbers, dhatus, the roots, overview of verbs, classification and variations and illustrations. In the fourth session, we had covered the verbs, importance of verbs, the karakas and shabda, how a sentence is formed, verb formation, and we had explained usage of simple verbs, not very complicated, very simple verbs, and very simple sentences, maybe 3 or 4 words. Fifth one, we went to nouns, basics of nouns, and I gave several examples, noun endings, and we talked about vibhakti, the cases, noun cases with examples, derived nouns, and some proverbs without verb, and a vocabulary of nouns. The sixth session, we covered pronouns, prepositions, adjectives, some questions, simple conversation, and multiple name for objects, all that. Seventh one, we talked about singular and plural, and we talked more about pronouns, verbs, and nouns, dual forms, some new Sanskrit words, and I gave you the names of fingers. In the eighth lesson, we had common words usage, asking question, and some beautiful aspects of Sanskrit, verbless sentences, the beauty of combining verb roots and nouns, expanding words, also how a prefix and suffix can change the meaning, suffixes to nouns, and a little bit of present and past tense and parts of the body. 9, we covered numbers, applications, time, periods of time, days of the week, seasons, and about Panchangam. And the 10th one, we talked about locations, directions, and applications, a little bit of duty on the Sanskrit language, new words, nice verses, meanings. In last lesson, we already reviewed it. We had the sloka on Krishna and verbs and indeclinables, gerund, names of animals and birds. So in all, we had 11, and this session is going to be the last of the series, and we will read 12th lesson. Okay, let's revise these 7 simple questions. Kim. Kim means what? Kutra. I think there's a mistake in the English transliteration. It says kurta, it's not correct. It should be kutra. Where? Kati, how much? Kada, when? Kutaha, from where? Katham, how? Kimartam, why or what for? In all these 7 simple questions, you will find the starting is really ka. So when it is ka, and it is a very short word, you can say it's a kind of a question. Kim, kutra, kati, kada, kutaha, katam, kimartham. All these you find ka coming in. Okay, that's something common in all the questions. And these are 7 simple questions which will keep on appearing in many of the sentences when you want to ask a question. Okay, now let's see some examples. Ramaha kim patati? What is Rama reading? Ramaha kim patati? I am giving you masculine gender, okay? Ramaha pustakam patati. Very simple. The answer is Ramaha pustakam patati. Bhavan kutra vasati? Bhavan is a very respectable form of saying you. Where do you live? Aham Chicago nagare vasami. I live in Chicago city. Very simple. Third, mama samipe kati pustakani santi? How many? Mama samipe means near me. How many books are there near me? Kati pustakani santi, it's plural. Mama sapipe chatvari pustakani santi. That means there are 4 books near me. Mama samipe chatvari pustakani santi. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if it is come inti, you know, it is plural. Suryodaha kada bhavati? When is the sunrise? Suryodaha pratakale bhavati. The sunrise is in the morning. They are very simple answers. Okay, let's go further. Mitraha kutaha agachati? Where has the friend come from? Kutaha, from. Mitraha videshataha agachati. Videshataha, from a foreign country. Mitraha videshataha agachati. The friend has come from a foreign country. Bhavataha swastham katam asti? Swastham means health. Katam is how. How is your health? Bhavataha swastham katam asti? How is your health? Mama swastham uttamam asti. Uttamam means excellent. Like Rishabh's homework is uttamam. Very, very good, excellent. He has done a good job, so you say uttamam asti. Mama swastham uttamam asti. My health is excellent. Bhavan kimartam geetam gayati. We had this exercise before. Saha kimartam geetam gayati. Why do you sing music? Aham anandartam geetam gayami. I sing music for pleasure. Okay, so 7 simple questions and 7 simple answers. So you can frame your own questions and you can also get your answers accordingly. So these are only examples based on which you can work your questions and answers. Okay, because this is a beginner level, we are not going into complicated questions and answers. We are making only simple questions and simple answers. Okay, going further, let's talk about tenses. Present and past tense. Ekaha balakaha asti. There is a boy. Present tense. Supposing you want to say past tense, there was a boy. How will you say? Ekaha balakaha asid. Asid is past tense. Saha vanam gacchati. Present tense. He goes to the forest. Past tense. If you say he went to the forest, saha vanam agacchate. Same thing, if you want to say he had gone to the forest, it will be saha vanam gatavan. That is past participle. We'll see it in the next slide. Saha vanam agacchate. He goes home. Saha griham gacchati. Present tense. Saha griham agacchate. He went home. If you want to say he has gone home, you can say saha griham gatavan. Gatavan. Has been, had been, will come. And you find it is ending up in one. The past participle, it indicates an action which is past, which is completed, often ending in D or ED in English. Having heard. For example, Sruta is to hear. Srutavat, past tense, I heard. Aham srutavan, I have heard, which is past participle. Or you can say having heard. Also, the same thing, aham srutavan. Likewise, if you say gam is a route which is to go, going is gaccha, gatavan, having gone, masculine. Same thing, feminine will be gatavati. Gatavati. In English, there is no difference, but in Sanskrit, the masculine and feminine gender, they have differences here. If it is a masculine or man or a boy, you say gatavan. If it's a lady, you say gatavati. Now I'm going to give you some more examples of this masculine and feminine. If you say the verb reads, patati. If it is a masculine gender, you say patitavan. Having read, patitavan. Same thing, if it is a feminine gender, it becomes vati, patitavati. So gender is important when you're going to say the past participle, either patitavan or patitavati. Likewise, you say vada is to talk. Vadati talks. You say uktavan. Ukta is also to say uktavan is a person having talked. Uktavati, having spoken. Having spoken. Drinks, the root is pa, pibati, pitavan, having drunk. Pitavan. Pitavati applies to a feminine gender. Writes. Liquor, to write. Likati, writes. Likitavan, having written a letter, you say patra likitavan. The same thing if it is a feminine gender, you say likitavati. So you see the difference in the gender, the word past participle will change accordingly. Kr is to do, karoti is does, kritavan, having done. Having done the homework, you can say kritavan. Kritavati applies to feminine gender. If Trinetani has completed her homework, she says kritavati. So there is a difference in past participle according to the gender. So remember this. It is not there in English, but in Sanskrit, it is different. Let's go to the next slide. I'm going to give you some sentences where past participle is used. Ramaha Amravrikshasya Samipam Gatavan. Rama having gone near a mango tree. Having gone. Gatavan. Next one. Vrikshe Bahuni Falani Drishtavan. Drisha is to see. Drishtavan is having seen. Bahuni, many fruits. Bahuni Falani, having seen many fruits on the tree. Maybe he picked up one, having seen many fruits on the tree. Saha Chintitavan. Chintane means to think. Saha Chintitavan. Having been thinking, he. We had this word, I think, in the crow story. The crow, which started putting the stones in the pot to raise the water. Remember? Sitaha Chintitavati is having been thinking. Sita. It is not a complete sentence. Something else is to come. Having seen so many fruits, having been thinking, there is some action left out. Sa kim karishyati iti yojanam kritavati. As she was thinking on what to do, not complete. As she was thinking on what to do, is kritavati. Sitaha ekam upayam kritavati. Having thought of an idea or having thought of a way, Sita. Continued. There is something more. So these are some examples of using past participle. Van, vati. Okay. Now coming to future tense. I would like to give you one or two examples of future tense usage. Gam, to go. Gamishya, will go. Gamishyami, I will go. Kr, to do. Karishya, will do. Karishyami, will do. I will do. Aham prataha nava vadane nagaram gamishyami. Now you know Navavadane. Vadane is the 9 o'clock time. Aham prataha in the morning. Navavadane at 9 o'clock. Nagaram is city. Gamishami will go. I will go to the city at 9 o'clock in the morning. Let's say I will do puja in the evening. Aham sayam or sayam kale puja karishyami. I will do puja in the evening. That's the future tense. It can be applied to a number of verbs. But these are simple ones, okay? Now, the grammar in Sanskrit is not easy. It's very complex. And you will get used to it only when you start practicing it. Simple sentences will help you to understand and you can start using it, okay? Some sentences, examples. Swikarishyami. Swikari means, swikaram means to obtain or to get ownership. Okay. Swikarishyami, it's come from swam, that is, you obtain or you get. So when you say swikarishyami, it means I will get. Shvaha, tomorrow. Aham Nutanam Vahanam Swikarishyami. Nutanam means new one. New Vahanam is vehicle. Swikarishyami. Tomorrow I'll get a new vehicle. Sroshyami is come from sru, to hear, will hear, sroshyami. You can say, I want to listen to music at 7 o'clock. Say, Saptavadane Sangeetam Sroshyami. I will listen to music at 7 o'clock. Khada is to eat. Khadishyami means will eat. I will eat a meal with my friends. You can say, Sakyaha. Saka is friend. Sakyaha is plural. Friends. Sakyaha saha with. Bhojanam kadishyami. I will eat a meal with my friends. Saha sakya. Patishyami will read. Sayam katha pustakam patishyami. Katha pustakam is storybook. I will read a storybook in the evening. Okay. Likewise, Drisha is to see. Drishyami means will see. Bhojana anantaram Duradarshane chitram drishyami. Bhojana means dinner or meal. Anantaram means after. After dinner, after a meal. Duradarshane in the TV. Chitram drishyami, see a movie. Chitram can be described, is used for a movie as well as a picture. Sometimes you also see in English, I want to see a picture, right? So here Chitram refers to a movie or a picture. Okay, so we have some examples of future tense sentences. I'm going to tell you now about cause and effect. Ataha, therefore, so. Because of something, something else is happening. So there is a cause and there's also an effect. Like for example, Sa pratidinam sangeeta abhyasam karoti. Sa means she, pratidinam every day, sangeetaha music, abhyasam karoti practices, exercises. Abhyasam means practice or exercise. Abhyasam karoti. She practices music every day. Ataha, therefore, so, sa samyak gayati. So she sings well. Because of what? Because she's practicing every day, she sings well. Saha pratidinam samskritam abhyasam karoti. Ataha sa samskritam samyak. Shall you say gayati or patati, likati, whatever. Okay. Saha rugnaha asti. Rug is ailment. Rogam means disease. Rugnaha means one who is sick. Saha rugnaha asti means he is sick. Ataha, therefore, saha karyalayam na gacchati. Therefore, he is not going to work. He is not going to office. Karyalayam means office or workplace. Saha karyalayam na gacchati. Therefore, he is not going to work. So, ataha means so, therefore. There is a cause and therefore the effect is seen in the next sentence. Okay. Some more example. There are some proverbs like this. Yatha raja, tatha praja. Yatha, tatha. Like yatha, so is. Or as in the same way. Yatha raja, tatha praja. Means like the king, so is the subject. It's a proverb. If the king is corrupt, the subject is also corrupt. Yatha mata tata putri. Very simple. Like the mother, so is the daughter. Yatha mata tata putri. Likewise, you have another one, cause and effect. Yada tada. Yada means when, tada means then. Yada suryodayaha bhavati, when the sun rises, then tada kamalam vikasati, then lotus blooms. The cause is the sun rising, the effect is the lotus blooming. So you say yada tada, yada suryodayaha bhavati, tada kamalam vikasati. Another example, yada saha srunoti, when he listens. Tada saha sreshtaha chatraha, then he is a good pupil. Tada sreshtaha is good, chatraha is pupil. So you see, yata tatha, like so is, yada tada, when and then. Going further, we're going to now learn a very, very beautiful verse, Subhashitam. I'm going to read it out and then I will tell you the meanings of this. Na choraharyam, na cha rajaharyam, na bratu bhajyam, na cha barakari, vaye krite vardate eva nityam, Vidyadanam sarvadana pradhanam. Na choraharyam. Chor means what? Even in Hindi you say, chor means thief, stealing, one who steals, chor. It is choraharyam means it. Na means no. Na choraharyam means it cannot be stolen. It is not a matter that can be stolen. Na choraharyam. Na cha rajaharyam. Cha here is and. Again you have a no. Rajaharyam. Raja means king. Raja means rajyam means government. Now sometimes if people have certain things kept illegally, the government can confiscate it. They can take it away by force, by law. So, Nacha Rajaharyam means it cannot be confiscated by the government. Okay. Na Bratu Bhajyam. Brataha means brother. You see the similarity in Sanskrit and English? Brother, Brata. Maybe there is a link somewhere. Brata is brother. Now, Bratu means brothers. It cannot be Bhajyam means to divide. It cannot be divided among brothers. Nacha Barakari. Baram means burden, heavy. It is not a heavy thing. It is not a burden. It's like a riddle. This Subhashitam is like a riddle. Vyaye krite. Vyaye means to spend it. Krite. As you spend it, Vyaye krite. Vardate eva nityam. Even if you spend it, it grows continuously. The more you spend, it grows. The more you use it, it grows. And what is that? It cannot be stolen. It cannot be confiscated by the government. It cannot be divided amongst the brothers. It is not a burden. And as you use it and as you spend it, it grows continuously. And what is that peculiar thing? That thing is Vidyadhanam, the wealth of knowledge. Vidyadhanam, Sarvadhana Pradhanam. The most important wealth of all wealth is the wealth of knowledge. You know what you have here, it cannot be stolen. Nobody will take it away. No government can take it away. And you can't say, give me a part of it to my brother or give a little bit my sister. No, it can't be done. Na bratu bhajyam. And it is not a burden. It is inside. It is not a heavy burden that you carry. And as you use it, the knowledge, when you use it, you actually gain more knowledge. That is why you vyaye krite vardate eva nityam. It starts growing every day, continuously. So it's a beautiful Subhashitam, and it is very relevant and apt for you because as you study more and you gain knowledge, it is something which is a wealth for you and it cannot be taken away by anyone. It is with you always and it will grow. So I thought this Subhashitam is very good for you, especially when you are learning Sanskrit. It is something which is a wealth of knowledge for you. Okay. Now I think we have one more Subhashitam I wanted to share it with you because application of nouns and verbs and all that is best explained in these kind of verses. Yeah, I've given you the meaning here in the slide. You can refer to it anytime. Okay. Now, this is number 2 Subhashitam. It's a little funny. Pakshinam balam akasham. Balam means strength. Pakshinam, to the birds. See Vibhakti, Pakshinam. Balam akasham, the sky. If you put a bird in a cage, it becomes weak because it cannot fly. It has no freedom. But you let it in the fly, it flies happily, flapping its wings, and it is very happy, and it's feeling strong and goes miles and miles and miles. There are birds who fly thousands of miles, little birds. Pakshinam balam akasham. The sky is their strength. So they can fly uninterruptedly without any obstruction. Matsyanam udakam balam. Matsya means fish. Matsyanam, to the fish. Udakam is water. Udakam balam. The strength to the fish is in the water. You take the fish out of the water, it will die. It cannot survive. So it is swimming beautifully inside the water. Those of you who have seen this aquarium or have a fish tank, you see how happily the fish is swimming inside the water. Matsyanam udakam balam. What here? Pachinam matsyanam. To the fish, to the birds. Durbalasya balam raja. Durbalasya means, balam means strength, I told you. Durbalasya means one who is weak. Supposing there is some injustice done to a weak person, what can he do? He can only go and appeal to the king or to the big boss, to somebody who is head. So for him, the strength has to come from the top person who can view it correctly and then give him justice. Durbalasya balam raja. The king is providing the strength to the weak subjects. Balanam rodanam balam. For kids, especially babies, what is the strength? Rodanam means crying. They want something, they'll start crying, make a hue and cry. You know, some little kids, they want a toy or something at home, they make a big huckus, you know, they start crying. And they get what they want because the crying is so heavy and so unbearable to the parent, they give it. Here you are, take it. So, balanam rodanam balam. For the kids, the strength is in the crying to get what they want. So, it's a nice two-line subhashitam which says how the strength comes to different people, the birds, the fish, the weak subjects, and to a kid. Very beautiful. So, we are going to now conclude this session with a prayer. And this is a concluding prayer for not only this session, but also for the entire level 1 series of 12 lessons. This is in praise of Hanuman. You can see the picture, and some of you may know this verse, but I'm going to give you the meanings also so that you know how great this particular verse is. Buddhir balam. Buddhir balam is strength. Buddhir is intellect. Buddhi is intellect. Balam is strength. Yasho dhairyam. Yasho means getting fame, recognition. Yasho. Dhairyam is courage. There are some people who are very courageous. They are not afraid. Nirbhayatvam is fearlessness. Courage really comes without fear. Fearlessness is also a quality. Dhairyam, nirbhayatvam, arogataha. Roga I mentioned earlier. Roga means disease, ailment. Aroga means free from diseases. Put opposite, becomes, it added to a word, it becomes opposite. Arogataha. Freedom from all diseases or ailments. Ajatyam. Jada means who is dumb, who is dull. Opposite, ajatyam, is a quality of not being dull. Not being dull means what? Smart. He's being smart. So ajatyam, he says not being dull, but it means really smartness. Walk, padutvam. Walk means a speech. Padutvam means the eloquence in speech, the skill in talking. All these qualities, how do you get them? Hanumat smaranat bhavet. By praying or worshipping Hanuman remembering him, by meditating on him. Smaranat is meditating. You get all these qualities by meditating on Hanuman. Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet. Hanuman is known to be a very, very strong person. You all know the story of Ramayana and what role he played. He was so fearless. He went to Lanka and he did so many things, so many feats. In fact, he brought the whole Sanjeevi Parvatam, flew with it. So here you see him in meditation, and if you pray and worship Hanuman, you get all these qualities. So we believe in that worship. Buddhir balam yashodairyam nirbhayatvam arogataha ajatyam vagpadutvam cha hanumat smaranat bhavete. So this is a beautiful concluding prayer, and I want to say this, that you remember this prayer and you're sure to become a person with all these qualities. And you have been very good in learning these 12 lessons so far, very, very committed. I like you kids, and my congratulations to all of you for doing this work so well. And do practice this, and whenever you get a chance to read any other Sanskrit lessons, please read them, and then you can apply some of these, what we've studied so far. And we will meet again maybe next year when we are going to start the level 2. Right now, I am conducting the other program for adults, which is a slightly advanced version of Sanskrit, and using Gita as a prime scripture. I'm explaining many things in Sanskrit for them, and we've already completed 6 sessions on Sangita. So it's going to be a second level for the adults who went through the same easy Sanskrit. For you, it will be a different kind of approach, and I hope to design something for you sometime next year. Okay, with that, I'm going to say Hari Om to everybody, and wish you all success. I'm going to unmute you now, okay? Yeah, I've unmuted you. Now let's see if there's anybody having any comment or anything to say.
Guruji, I have a question.
Yeah.
You know how there's 7 simple questions like Kim Karomi, like that? Kim Katra. How do you say who?
How do you say what?
Who? Like, and who is the boy?
Oh, it is there, no? I thought it is there.
No.